Welcome back, guys. We are continuing on with these Mechabellum 1v1 replays, and up next is another attempt of a frontline assault where I try to start my troops quite close to the enemy lines, and I'm still experimenting with giants at the moment. So unfortunately, some of these replays, because they're on the previous patch, I start off as the enemy team, so I'm in red. So I'm going to have to look at the from the opposite direction where it's shaded out. But yeah, I'm basically the bad guys. So we are crawler, steel ball, cost control. They are crawler, sledge. Stormcaller and supply specialist. So I started setting everything up before I actually looked at what the enemy had, and once I realised they've got Stormcallers, I'm going to be moving these steel balls because there's no point in having them behind the crawlers, as when the Stormcallers shoot at the crawlers, they're going to hit the steel balls. So I'll quite quickly move them away from behind the crawlers. So I'm putting one in the middle and putting these two on the edges. So let's see how we get on in round one. So it's looking like a bit of a rough start. The arc lights made short work of my crawlers. Okay, so we've got extended range marksman, that's pretty decent. I've gone for the portable shield because I'm intending on going on giants. Shield airdrop is one of my favourites for making annoying flanks. He's gone for it, but he's not using it as a flanking tool. He's just using it as a cheap shield. So, what is going to be the next thing that I bring in? So he's bringing in more arc lights. I'm bringing in some Mustangs. So when setting up a front line build like this, obviously your flanks are really exposed. So I'm bringing in a couple of Mustangs, mainly to protect the flanks, but also to attack their crawlers that are on the edges. So it's got a dual purpose. So we managed to deal with the crawlers this time, but their arc lights are going to make short work of my Mustangs. So things aren't going too well at the moment. We haven't lost too much health though. We can still come back from this. So there's a couple of choices here. Extended range Stormcaller would be really nice. He's gone for reduced cost of giants. Looks like I'm taking a while to decide. I've gone for the reduced cost of giants as well. Now, I've stopped taking the supply-based reinforcement cards, but obviously at this particular time I was still taking them, because that reinforcement card basically cost 100, and so I would need to buy 2 giants just to pay for itself, and it's not often that you're going to be buying loads and loads of giants. So I've just started taking items and abilities instead of reduced cost items, or cards I should say. So I've just gone for an overlord in the centre. I've gone for a flank up here as well to try and pull some of their troops away from the tower. So the flank was never intended to succeed. It was simply there just to get a tower flank. So he hasn't really got much in the way of AA. All he's got is a few fangs. So we'll definitely win the round, just based on the fact that he hasn't got AA. I'll just speed this up. So he's got a tiny bit of AA here, but I've got a portable shield on my overlord, so there's no chance that he's going to win this. Okay. So let's see what he does to respond to my overlord. So we've got extended range fortress, which is quite nice, but obviously a decrease of 30% HP is quite significant, especially seeing as you usually use the fortress as a tank. But I've decided to go for it because I am trying to main in the giants, so I'm obviously trying to use it as a damage dealer rather than as a tank. He's decided to skip. I've gone for a fortress here. So I've put it in a position where it's slightly ahead of the crawlers, and then if he brings in something to attack the fortress, I can then put something ahead of this, which will then make the opponent target the thing that I put in front instead of the fortress. So that's why I haven't set up right on the front line. Looks like I burnt some supply there. So I've gone for some more crawlers over here to try and expose this tower. So all he's done is bring in the best friend tech for the Vulcan to get the extra snipers. But I really don't think that is going to be enough to deal with the Overlord. He's going to need something more than that. And my fortress is going to do a pretty decent job against their Vulcan over here. He is taking quite a bit of a beating though, but we did quite a lot of damage to him. Yeah, we might even take him out. Nice, well done. That was mainly due to the fact that we got a tower destroyed, so his sniper and stormcallers weren't doing much damage to the fortress. Okay, let's speed this up. So let's see if my Overlord can survive against the sniper while shooting at everything else. Let's have a look. He's got quite a lot of health. He's level 2 and he's got a portable shield. So that's basically twice as much health. I do like the portable shield item. And it looks like we have won the round again. So let's have a look, see what happens in the next round. So we've got Orbital Javelin, he could use that to take the Overlord out. So he's gone for Senior Attack Specialist, which is decent, 30% extra damage, but it's extremely expensive. So I'm putting my flame over here to try and deal with the Stormcallers and the Arclights. It'll also help to deal with some of these units once they've killed the crawlers. I've got another fortress over here. So it looks like I'm not really spending any points on tech at the moment. Everything's going into troops, nothing into tech. I've put another Arclight down at the back to try and get some kills on the crawlers. Not sure if that's going to work. It definitely won't work this round because he'll spend most of it spawning in. So he's rocketed the steel balls, I've rocketed their crawlers. So the flame has got the job done on the Stormcallers. And it's looking like we're going to win on the left hand side. The Overlord has managed to take out the Vulcan. Fortress has taken out the tower. Things are looking extremely good for us. So this is the one good thing about not spending money on tech and spending it all on troops themselves. You can do a significant amount of HP damage. So I've gone for the parasitic ammo. He's gone for top supply. Now I'd never recommend going for top supply. It takes far too long to pay for itself. So he's gone for a melting point to deal with the Overlord. It'll be interesting to see what happens there. So I've finally bought my first bit of tech, which is the artillery. And I've brought in another Overlord and put the parasitic ammo on it. So I'm basically going Overlord Fortress at the moment. Everything else is kind of just cosmetic. I mean, the steel balls are doing a fairly decent job. And the Mustangs aren't doing too bad either. But it is primarily a Fortress Overlord build. Let's see how this melting point gets on. So he's spent most of his time shooting at the steel balls, and we managed to kill him before he burnt up the Overlord. So that Overlord or Overload, don't know which one it is, artillery came in very useful. Taking both towers out, and now it'll be easy mop up on the Vulcans. Vulcans, they're very situational and people seem to spam them a lot. But really, they're not the right counter to the comp that I've got. Because if you look really, everything here is just a distraction. It's not really damage dealing. And the things that are doing all the damage are the fortresses and the overlords, neither of which their Vulcan are very good against. Well, they can't even hit the overlords, and they're terrible against the fortress. So yeah, going for 3 Vulcans here was a terrible option for him. It might be because I've gone for steel balls, and Vulcans are pretty decent against steel balls. But yeah, not a very good choice for him to go for Vulcans there, in my opinion. But yeah, it worked quite well. But I think it might have been more down to the opponent making poor decisions, so I'll have to do some more refining of this frontline giant strategy. But either way, I hope you enjoyed it. Join me again in the next one. We'll try some more frontline stuff. And I think we're going to try it with rhinos next, even though they have been nerfed. So, thanks for watching, take care, and I shall see you soon.